He's a famous Serbian DJ from America and beyond. He has a hit song with Viki Mitkovic and Kosti, and was my childhood folklore teacher. Please welcome Goran Davidovac, DJ Spaz. Hi.
Yes, Srdjan. How you doing, buddy?
Can you believe we made it here?
Unreal. The ride is unreal.
We go way back to the point where I was still a bun in the oven and you were riding your bike in front of my house in Summerdale.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Norwood Park, baby.
Northwest side.
That's right.
41st Ward.
Hell yeah. Now, I want to talk to you about your career because you have an amazing career and it's still going on after so long, right?
Right.
And I'm curious to know, when you were back in high school, where did you see yourself going?
High school?
Even before then.
Sure, yeah,
if you had a dream before then, what was it?
Look, honestly, it was early on, it was to be a DJ on the radio.
Okay.
But it was, I mentioned it before, a B96 DJ, right?
Right.
And that was that would have been cool. So there was a career change made. I wanted to be a police officer.
Why?
I wanted to be a copper, and I was part of an Explorer program.
Okay.
That's like the police program to help kids go that route. And then the opportunity comes, in the mid '90s, in January of '96, maybe the beginning of February, and my deka, my deda, grandfather, as you know.
Yeah. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
And I just touched the mic.
Definitely. Super emotional. Deka went to buy plane tickets to go to Serbia. Mm-hmm. And when we went to go buy plane tickets, he goes to Pera Tesla Travel, agency Tesla Travel. And Pera was doing the radio at the time. And Deka comes in, he goes, daj mojom unuku priliku da vodi radio, right? And Pera's thinking, this kid doesn't even speak Serbian, bro. Yeah. Broken Serbian, bro.
How old were you at the time?
So 96, do the math, 18.
Oh, wow, okay.
18, just graduated, or graduating that year.
So Pera's like, šta će mi ovaj klinac?
Yeah, well, I don't know what Pera, you have to ask Pera when you put him on the show.
Oh.
Right?
Good
That's
idea.
got to be a great story. To hear his stories.
He wasn't even on my radar, but now he is.
To hear Pera Tesla's stories are priceless. I mean, he's got thousands of them. And like 999 are hilarious.
Right.
So anyhow, he goes in there and I did, pustim ovog, and I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Pera just said yeah, and then he got, I don't know. You have to ask him. Okay. But I get an opportunity, February 29th, 1996.
Wow.
And ajde pola sata ti pusti neku muziku, and he would start a show called Glas Mladi.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, let's try it. And then, man, I got addicted.
Were you doing it in like Serblish or strictly English?
It was definitely mixed. Okay. Or to the best of my ability,
but
Serbian.
Playing our songs.
Yeah, oh my God, it was all Serbian music.
Yeah.
It was all Serbian music.
Right.
So, that was cool. And then as I mentioned before, Pera gets more obaveze as time goes on. And he starts, hey, can you fill in for me? Can you fill in for me?
Right.
Wow, Pera's definition of filling in.
Like, take over, I'm not coming back.
No. Yeah, pretty much is what happened. No. But he's like, fill in for me. And it's like, okay, cool, but don't talk. Nemoj pričati, dude. It's like, nemoj pričati. I'm like,
take over, talk radio, but don't talk.
Yes. Muzički program, play music. I said, okay. He goes, play this reklama, play this. You can say dobar dan, and you can say goodbye. Like, that was it, right?
Those were the guardrails.
It was pretty funny, right? So, I start doing those shows, I start filling in, and then as time goes on, I have to talk more, and just that's how it just rolls out. Yeah. Right. It was cool. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
I can imagine.
Loved it.
So how did you start DJing? Is it at one of these places, or was it like a house party that sort of like accumulated? People heard of you, hired you. How did that all start?
So look, you want to be a DJ, right? And then but I don't think about clubs or anything else. I was thinking radio. Radio is my thing, right? However, the opportunity in radio took a detour, and I went this route.
Right.
Right. And it's funny to think back because I did a couple graduation parties, right? Oh my God. I did one graduation party. I'll never forget this, dude. I didn't have the funds to buy the equipment that I needed, right? Today's a different story.
Were you borrowing like Redwood stuff?
No, like I found an old speaker that looks like this.
Oh God. Yeah.
The brown wooden speakers, right? And I was playing, and I brought a little keyboard because I always liked the keyboard, a little bit, yeah. It was cool, right? Bro, whose ever graduation party this was, she had friends also that DJ'd, right? And she comes up to me, oh, they're going to bring their equipment and play something. Do you mind? No, that's fine. Absolutely. I'm all good with that. But when they came in and they set up their equipment, which was at the time like, apples and oranges, you can't compare, right? There was like, if it wasn't professional, it was definitely semi-professional.
Yeah.
But I think it was more professional than anything, right? And then there was me. They came in, they started playing, and it was just like, and they blew me out of the water. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm done. I think this is not for me. Like, I can't even afford that.
Right.
And it does take a little, it hurts you a little bit that, man, I want to do that. But I'm not there yet. And that equipment was very expensive to me and my family, who just, roditelji rade po, 40-50 sati nedeljno, and you just, you're trying to make it work.
So how did the ball start rolling with the Serbian DJing? Did you start doing Redwood Zabave or something?
So no, it didn't even start. No, there was no such thing as a DJ at a Zabava.
Okay.
It was always a live band. You know that from your Datista mostly, right?
Right.
Or at least the first part of your Datista. Right. So it starts with the radio. The radio starts, and then Kalamegdan.
Oh, it was then.
Kalamegdan. Kalamegdan was the first location to have a DJ.
Did you end up booking something yourself, or someone got like wind that you could do such a thing?
So Kum Ivan, today my Kum Ivan, who was a friend at the time, he heard that this guy wanted to DJ. He knew I was DJing. He said, hey, why don't you talk to him and see what happens, right? And that's exactly what happened. He gets me into the gig. Now, mind you, I have no
prior
music.
Experience. Oh.
I have no music of my own, no CDs of my own, no equipment of my own. I walk into a place that has everything ready for me, right, at Kalamegdan. So they have a place ready, and then I have two friends that come to the rescue from the south side. And Kalamegdan was on the southeast side of Chicago, right, and that little enclave of Serbs, And right across the street from Kalamegdan were Dominic and Dejan Grujic, Diamond Troll, were my friends, who are my friends. And they had
the CD
CDs,
case?
Kakav case. They had the old towers.
Oh my.
Those towers, bro, those towers like 8 feet tall, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna, they brought the binders, what I was going to say.
Yeah, but it was all towers, and there was like 50 maybe CDs in a tower. I brought 2 towers over.
Oh, wow.
And I used their music. They helped me with my beginning.
Right.
So to Krena, and now it started with the summer picnics at 114th, City Simone. Right. So every Sunday there was a picnic from June to September, and I would work every Sunday. And then Rade Novovic, who gave me the opportunity, says, the season ends kind of. He goes, ajde dođi radi petkom subotom. And I say this all the time, like, kome da radi?
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows that I'm here. Nobody, like, it's not, I wasn't planning on making this something.
Right. Were they, like, even advertising?
No, I'm not kome, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, kome, like, they don't, like, that DJ's here.
Yeah.
Super.
Evo ga.
Ili ima piknik, nema, pa šta ćemo tamo? Like, it just didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody wanted to go home Sunday nights because the picnics ended at 10.
Right.
The picnics ended at 10 o'clock. Nobody wanted to go home. So we did 10 to 2, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And we were packed every Sunday regularly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the beginning, right?
Right.
So that happens, and that happens, mind you, a year and something later, in the summer of 97. That happens in 97, and then he goes, ajde ti radi, whatever. And I was happy. I got paid working Friday, Saturday. And then I get a phone call from another place on the north side. And then that place is like, hey, how about, you come work Thursdays and Sundays? I can do that. So now I'm working Thursday, north side, Friday, Saturday, south side, Sunday, north side.
Right.
Ali oni nemaju ozvučenje.
Oh, and you don't have your own.
And I don't have my own.
Oh my.
So I go, ja kupim ozvučenje.
Oh wow.
My first
Set.
speakers and say, bro, ja sam malo umro, you know, pao sam u nesvest.
Right.
You know how much that's expensive today.
Right.
It was expensive back then, right? So you purchase your equipment and you just, you know, but you have income to pay it off, right? Mm-hmm. And even one of my friends, you know, one of those brothers, Dom, you know, came to the rescue, you know, where I didn't have enough. He goes, here, put it on my card. And I was able to pay him off. I was so thankful.
They gave you the wings to fly when you needed it at that moment.
Unreal.
Because if they didn't do that, would you have gotten to where you are today as quickly?
Well, again, you know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I had the radio music too. I had the CDs at the studio.
Right.
So I could have gone and used those. I just didn't do that.
Gotcha.
Right. But again, those Gruish brothers, they came through and they started burning CDs for the first time.
Right.
So instead of taking, you know, 2 cases and 100 CDs.
Like, I'm gonna give you like 1 CD with all the hits on it.
Buddy, I had 10 CDs. I had every hit out there.
Right.
And it was, I mean, they really came through.
Nice.
They helped me in the betray. So in the beginning, it really was, you know, Petar Ivanović, Tesla, Rade Novović, on Kalemegdan, my kum Ivan Matic, who got me the gig, so to speak, and those Gruish brothers, right?
Right.
And let's not even count the friends that showed up weekly and supported, you know?
Well, there wasn't anything like that at that moment.
There was nothing like that.
So it's like, it was like the thing to do. Everyone was excited to go.
It was cool.
People met their spouses there.
I know at least a half a dozen personally. Right.
So all that accelerated into Luda Žurka, the birth of Luda Žurka, the brand.
The brand.
And all that. How did that begin?
So Dejan Nedeljković, DJ Decky, he came up to me and he's like, hey, let's do a party. We were talking about parties. We both came up with the idea, let's do a party together. And the original party date was scheduled in fall of whatever that year was, you know? But that wasn't the name of the Žurka, right? Because bilo, na jesen je bilo, so jesenja Žurka. That's kind of the way it went, right?
Right.
So then all of a sudden we start that and party is, remember, no social media. It was
word of mouth.
Word of mouth, phone calls, flyers, pagers, you page someone.
Oh, man.
Right? It was like that.
Yeah.
And the first party we did there in the fall of whatever, like I said, I don't remember the year, but it was, 400 people. Mm-hmm. It was amazing and it was crazy. Mm-hmm. And,
hence the name.
Right?
Luda Žurka.
Oh, but bilo je Ludo, actually. How about Luda Žurka? Yeah, Luda Žurka, right? So, someone mentioned Luda Žurka, oh man, it was Luda Žurka. You should call it Luda Žurka. And then I was like, I think I will. And then Decky was like, let's create a website. Mm-hmm. Kum Decky is so...
Like innovative?
Innovative. He's good and he's solid at that. Until this day, I talked to him a few things. I don't think, man, Kum's got it.
Shout out to Decky.
Shout out to Decky.
Yeah.
So, no, Kum Decky's really good. And so we started doing that,
So if I had to pick a picture that would embody the vibe of the party, it would be this. What is that?
That was probably the best, or one of the best events I've ever done.
This was Excalibur before it was Castle, right?
Right. This was the legendary Excalibur, the largest indoor nightclub in Chicago.
Right.
This was a Sam Kappas event. Started working with Sam Kappas probably right at about the same time. He was a Greek from Northwest Indiana who started doing Serbian Greek nights back in the day. And this was that event that really, that picture says it all. That was probably the best recorded numbers. I think we probably maybe had 2,500 through the door. Wow. Yeah, that was an amazing night. It was Labor Day weekend of, I want to say 2012. That was good.
So working with Sam Kappas, did that open doors to all these clubs in the city?
Absolutely. We started at what some people would know as Kalisto.
Okay.
That was in Greektown. Then that name changed to Byzantium.
Oh, yeah.
That's Byzantium.
I remember that.
And then at the same time, Sam was able to I'm sure she had relationships in the city with other places, and then doors to Excalibur and other places opened up as well. But that was the big one. That was it.
Is there a story that sticks with you as like the most memorable when it comes to like any of your żurki?
We're in Cleveland for this one, right? And I'm not there. My colleagues are there. So one of my newer DJs came on, and he's there with a senior DJ, right? Who shall remain nameless.
For protecting the guilty.
Yes. So he's starting, it's maybe his first or second żurka, I don't know. Maybe his first, I'm not sure. So he's playing Pušta muziku sve okay, right? And here comes a girl. And she goes, hey, he's like, what's up? And the girl goes to him, idemo do mene. And he's like, all right, cool, može. So now he goes up to the other DJ and he goes, hey man, and he's the new guy. He goes, listen, I know this is uncomfortable, but I got, like this girl just asked me to go by her, you mind, can you finish up, So okay, yeah, no problem, I got you, He's packing up, he's, pakuje stvari. This is like, and mind you, 5-6 minutes have passed, he's on pakuje. Right? He's packing up. Girl comes back. She's like, where's my song? He goes, what song? Pa idemo do mene. Hey.
So good.
You can't script it.
You can't.
You can't script this. And he goes, okay, yeah, it's coming up. So the other DJ tells me the story. He's coming back. He's throwing stuff. He's throwing that, throwing this, he's throwing that. What happened? What's the matter? He goes, pusti pesmu. I go, idemo do mene. Like, why are you mad, bro? Because that was the girl who said idemo do mene.
And nothing happened.
I said, oh my God, you can't script it, man.
You can't. But I'm sure you have other stories for days of things like that you just can't make up anywhere.
Looking back,
right.
I wish I had kept a journal and recorded these events because now I could talk about them.
Right.
Because I forgot, until somebody somewhere brings it up,
right.
I could, and it was one of these amusing moments, right?
Moving on, we're going to do a segment called Please Explain.
Okay.
Now, I've dug up on your social media and found some interesting photos that I would actually want you to explain, right?
That's true.
First one. Now, you've had some name drops on the mixed radio station from Violeta Podromedic.
Yep.
And also from Angie Taylor on the Fred and Angie morning shows.
Right.
That's got to be huge. How did you feel in that moment when you got word of that?
Listen, what do you say?
I mean, considering that they're
say fala.
the most,
and that's not enough.
They're the most popular radio stations in town.
And that was a random, right? With Violeta, I've known her od detinstva. I've known her family. Her
we
sister.
danced folklore together.
Yeah, definitely. So you know these people your entire life, and when they do something out of the box like that,
right?
It's beyond appreciated.
Totally.
They don't need to do it.
Right, exactly.
And they did. With Angie Taylor too, that was, I reached out to her to do like the Got Time,
right?
Like a podcast, right? Show just to see who is Angie Taylor. Everybody talks about Angie Taylor, but a lot of people listen to Kiss FM in the morning.
Right, and they don't even know that she's Serbian.
And they don't.
Right.
Because Taylor nije srpski.
Exactly.
So, but she's very proud and she mentions it throughout the show. And that's why, she's Serbian, she mentioned, like blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. So I reached out just to see, hey, I'd love to let people know about your life. And she responded. She was willing to. The show was. I thought the show was cool, right?
Yeah,
generally speaking. Great. And I didn't know the next morning that she would send a shout out or even talk about it. And then when the text messages flood, your phone in the morning.
Right. And you wake up at like 1.
And you wake up at like
because you work 9 to 5, but third shift.
Third shift.
Yeah.
Not just minute. You wake up in the afternoon or whatnot, and you're like, 40 messages. I'm exaggerating. But at least 15, 20 messages, and you're like, oh my God, that was cool.
Right.
Right. So you go back, and I appreciate the shout out, Angie.
Totally.
Angie Taylor and Violeta.
Shout out to Vicky and Angie.
Violeta's cool. Thank you. It's touching that someone would say something.
You also were a resident DJ for the Milwaukee Bucks, right?
I played I played twice.
Right.
In Milwaukee for the Bucks. And one of the games were against the Denver Nuggets with Jokic. and the other one was against the Miami Heat with Jovic. So who wound up playing in the finals against each other. So it was they did like a Serbian night, and it was really cool. I wish I would have. I didn't know you were going to do this, but I would have brought the. They had the first time they had a hat that said Championi.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, in Cirilica.
Oh, even better.
In Cirilica it said Championi, and the second time was even a little bit cooler because they had like the scarves that said "Fear the Deer." In Cirilica.
That's awesome.
Fear the Deer.
Yeah.
So it was impressive.
I remember attending one of them, and I was surprised how nice that lounge was.
Oh my God, Pano Lounge.
And it was so weird hearing our music at like an American basketball game.
At an American NBA
basketball
game.
And on top of that, wasn't there a folklorna grupa that performed?
They did. They performed at halftime. Not even pre. They performed at halftime.
After the Unbelievables or whatever they're called over the books.
Yeah, I think there were folklorna grupa Šumadija from Milwaukee.
Right, from Milwaukee.
Amazing dance group.
Right.
They are amazing. Their skill set is, if they're not rated, the top folklore group in the country, or the top 3 at least, there's something wrong because they.
Shout out to Šumadija.
Yep, Šumadija.
Yeah. Virtual Zabava. Now, the pandemic has rocked everyone's world, and you somehow came up with an idea to be super creative and entertain us from all of our homes all at the same time.
I don't even remember how that came to mind, right?
But you would do radio shows anyway, so
right.
It's just a matter of turning on the camera.
You make a mistake, you can curse all you want, right? But it was different, right? It was, look, we're stuck. They're all stuck here. They're not going anywhere at this point. And they have internet and electricity.
Right.
That's all I need. And with this virtual Zabava group, the creators of the group, I give them props. That's an old, Zabavas to me is old school.
Right.
Which I grew up to, which I loved. I think that group had grown on its own generally. They got a lot of people, but I know that for when I started to do the live and I shared it to my group, that I think it helped it grow exponentially.
Right.
For sure.
And I can tell you that the virtual Zabava has left such a great impression on people that they still mention it today. I had a friend recently tell me, I was going to be with my mom for New Year's, and we didn't want to necessarily go anywhere, and her mom said, "Ajde gledamo Spaza for New Year's." And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, and you still remember that. In our lifetime moving forward, we will always talk about 2020. Absolutely. And where we were at that moment. Absolutely.
Ceo svet se zatvorio, čoveče.
But in the midst of such negativity and, doom and gloom, that you still manage to leave an impression on people and zabavi them, really, in their own homes. Sure. And I think that's a pretty amazing accomplishment right then and there.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, for real. Not blowing smoke.
But I didn't think it like that. I thought, you know what, let's do this. Let's just play some music. Let's just try this.
Like rock out?
Yeah, I probably just wish. It's if we can't go to it, let me bring it to you. At one point, through all my channels, I had it. I had 300 people watching. This little
dog and pony show.
I was like, I know.
And I remember,
and I didn't even have the right mics or anything. I just plugged in, and I had a speaker blaring, and the music was coming through a speaker into the mic. It was just. Let's do this now. Well, then you jazzed it up later on, because I remember you started putting people's comments and stuff, and that's when I came in and was trying to be an ass by putting in the comment tražim ženu, pozovi broj 0675555, whatever the hell, or prodajem drva, zovi čiku, whatever. Oh my God. And you would put it up there. At first, I put it as my real self, my real account, and then I realized everyone's gonna know who it is now. Yeah, and then I deleted it, went on my Srdjan General account, and then and all that jazz. So I made it even more. It did help, right? Yeah. Once I got the software, to do that, it was amazing, right? You needed, but that wasn't my field. I mean, I knew a little bit, but that's a lot of boom, boom. It's almost hands-on immediately. Let's get this done. Let's work on it. Let's make this work. Right. Shanghai. I caught wind that you actually
DJ'd in China. Can you please tell me how and why?
Look, a guy calls me random call, like a month before that. He goes, "Are you available so-and-so date?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Okay." The date he gave me was a Wednesday. All right, it was like a Wednesday. I'm like, "No, bro, I am. What's up?" He goes, "Ej, pravimo žurku." I said, "Super. Gde, ko, šta, kako?" He goes, "U kinu." I go, "Get that, man."
Right.
Kina, yeah, okay. He was being serious.
Wow.
I go, "Are you serious? What's the deal?"
Yeah.
He goes, "It was FIBA, the championships." We set up the deal. I have to get a visa. I get my visa the morning of my flight.
I would be on pins and needles.
It was
like
un-
dripping down my leg, like
unreal.
freaking out.
And it was Labor Day, Monday,
Ooh.
that China doesn't recognize it works.
Oh, that's right.
It was
Yeah.
packed.
Every day is Labor Day over there.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. This guy, comedian here, komičar,
Right.
Srdjan General, yeah.
Your bobblehead. Please explain that.
Pa ništa, dobro izgledam. Dobro
I
izgledam,
remember these were being handed out, but how did that even come about, the idea of a bobblehead?
So, it was just another marketing tool.
Right.
That's it. It was, believe it or not, it was between a bobblehead and a Beanie Baby.
When did this come out?
This came out in 07-08. Like over 1,700 komada. I had 1,700 bobbleheads.
And you just gave them away?
I did. So at the bottom of the base,
It says DJ Spaz, right?
right in front.
Right.
But then on the other two were the sponsors of the bobblehead.
Oh. So this to me stood out because I was actually a part of the ride for this one. And I have to thank you once again because that was the best birthday I've ever had. It was
Cool.
a birthday week.
Yep.
And it started off in Vegas, ended in Los Angeles at the Zdravko Čolić concert. I got to meet him. And you were the DJ of the night, opening up, and was DJing in between as well.
Right. So what's amazing about that is the first time I guest DJ'd for Zdravko Čolić was in 2002
Oh, wow.
in Chicago. I guess Pere Tesla was doing the concert.
Right.
So that was one of the first concerts that I did as an opening act for.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Moving along, speaking of singers, you brought Severina.
I was the local Chicago promoter for Severina.
Right.
That's right.
And it wasn't just Chicago, right? It
No,
was
she had
also
2 shows.
Vegas too,
And I think
which is
that-
huge.
That picture,
At the Cosmo?
At the Cosmo.
Right.
That picture I think was in Vegas actually.
Right.
So yeah.
How was she as like a celebrity?
She's nice. She's kind. I felt her kindness.
Right.
Right. And also she was dating Koichi, right?
Right at the time.
And he was just as cool, right? They're pretty, they have the manager who needs to be, prim and proper and rough or tough
Right.
or whatever, She was kind, beyond kind.
Was-
Professional, very profi.
And there's also a pool party because Ministarke opened up for them, right? That is also huge.
That pool party
Right.
the next day
I saw clips. I wish I was there.
was probably, again, one of my top three
tier. Oh,
events in my
wow.
career. That was the most amazing. I've never had an event like that. You're outside, you're at the area, at the pool,
And Ministarke are
and
singing Uno
Ministarke
Momento, basically.
are singing, and those girls are the first group of,
Right, the
Edita,
first round of girls. Yeah.
Edita and company, they are class act.
Nice.
Cool, they were chilling in the pool, they were hanging out. When you have normal people like that, all I want for them is to succeed.
Absolutely.
Legit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I went
She made a pit stop at the pool party for a few minutes, but she would have been mauled.
Right.
At the end.
Right.
So, but her shows were great.
Now, what inclined you to bring Jay to Champs Sports
Look,
at the mall?
everybody that comes here wants to go shopping.
Right.
It is in their blood. It's in their DNA. We're going shopping. We're going shopping. This was no different.
Was that your scarf?
That was Jay's scarf at the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
That was Jay's scarf at the end of the day because shal, nosi.
Right.
But it was, it was obviously winter. But
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. He's daj mi to. I don't know. He was looking at shoes. I tu nešto duva, hladno bilo.
Right.
It was like,
Trauma,
daj mi to. And I saw it. I was like, oh, check. Someone slick him. And I caught the picture. That picture is priceless.
Absolutely.
Priceless.
Now, this was a huge deal, and I will never forget our mutual friend's house. We were all sitting in her living room on the couch when you pitched us the idea, like, hey, I have this opportunity. Vicky reached out. This is the song. What do you guys think? And the rest was history.
So, I've known Vicky since, late 90s, 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
When she came for a concert then, we stayed in touch. Tashke, they have been nothing but good to me. Tashke is her husband.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that she has been like a sister to me by even giving me the opportunity to do this. You have to remember, these opportunities don't necessarily come.
It's once in a lifetime, definitely.
And with somebody of her
status.
Yeah. Sure. She gets, I'm sure, calls all the time to do things. And she came in, I don't know, was it 2012, 11, 12? And I go, you know what, and I threw it out there. I said, hey, I'd like to do one. I'd just like to do one to have it in my, my portfolio, and just, nothing could come of the song. That's fine. I just like to do it, right? To say I did it. And I can tell you that was an amazing opportunity. They call, hey, we have a song, I think we fit in.
That's awesome.
That was cool.
I mean, Kosti's a huge producer, not even just Romania, Bugarska, Serbia.
Yeah.
Also produced for Shaggy.
Latin America.
I think he's won a Grammy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. He's beyond humble.
That's amazing.
He is beyond, it's so nice to see the people of this level.
Nisu pokvareni.
Yes.
And the video organically got 11 million views to this day.
Some people can get that in 8 hours.
Right. But still, not everyone can get 11 million because a lot of songs are coming out these days and they don't even get that far.
I'm beyond thankful and appreciative of the opportunity.
Totally.
And that opened doors.
Absolutely.
Opened doors.
I can imagine. You're still making moves. We're still going to your žurke. They're still packed. What do you think is your secret sauce?
It's crazy, there are people that used to come out to the events, and now their children are coming out to the events.
Right.
And I think those parents are just as dumbfounded.
Right.
At like, šta je ovo? Like, pa mi smo ga slušali, sad vi, right?
Right.
Like, mora biti nešto tu. There's something that I'm doing right.
Right.
That connects, and I think it's because this is the way I am. I'm not acting, right?
Right.
Like, this is who I am.
And I think what's also important is that you actually have, genuine relationships with a lot of these people, and they hear about you. There's a reputation, and there's a gostoprimstvo, right? Because you're different from other DJs who just play music. Like,
sure.
You MC, you say hi to everybody, and people are excited to come up to you and like say hey, or like, oh, I know Spaz, oh, that's Spaz, oh, and introduce more people to you. So it's like a word of mouth thing that still happens to this day.
Yeah, I see. I can't speak to that, right? I just know that, brate, dolaziš, hvala ti.
Right.
Čisto hvala ti.
Ej, isključi veš mašinu da ne drnda celu noć, okay?
All right. Well, I thank you so much for coming today. Like I said,
thanks.
I could talk to you all day and we'd be here for a week, breaking down everything from what's going on in the world, in our lives, and breaking down your career.
I appreciate this. I appreciate that.
Totally.
I appreciate the invite.
Of course. Anytime.
You
can always come to my house.
Ljubite majka.
Absolutely. Stay tuned because we're going to be playing Balkan Jeopardy with Spaz and some very special guests, so stick around. Your stomach hurts, so what do you do to make you feel better? Nina.
Pepto.
What'd you say?
Pepto.
Pepto.